The biggest game in the world this weekend, the Old Firm, Celtic versus Rangers. We wanted to speak to both a Celtic fan and a Rangers fan, but we thought it'd be best to keep them apart. So here we go. How are you feeling? How are you dealing with it?
I'm a bit nervous when I think about it, because we're the only ones that have got anything to lose. You know, if Rangers get beat, then it's expected.
Don't have nothing to lose. Obviously, there's a huge stake on it, and it'd be great to win, to rub their faces in it. But I mean, we've got ready-made excuse, good to go. Like, we're just growing. It's fine. Of course you're going to win.
Absolutely stuff you, like 6-7-0.
Not going to happen.
Nah.
No, they're not good enough to do that. Oh, I'm so good. This is a soundbite, isn't it? When Griffith gets his 7th. Nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
How do you go about preparing for it?
What, me personally or the teams?
What? No, you as a fan.
Nervous. So naturally, before any derby game, you slander each other. You convince yourself that the other one's rubbish, or you pre-pack your excuses, good to go, depending on the stage both teams are in. And obviously Celtic right now they're actually in the best form they've been in for a long time, which is annoying. Because if we'd played them 3 months ago, we'd have beat them comfortably.
Looking at it logically, we should win. I mean, if you look at it purely from champions of Scotland playing against the champions of the Championship, they're a whole league below us. Ordinarily, you'd think it should be a bit of a walkover. The fact that it's Rangers obviously makes it a bit different. It's a derby, so form book, the clicché, the form book goes out the window a little bit. There's going to be a lot of nerves. The atmosphere is going to be incredible, so it makes it's not a normal sort of David and Goliath type of game.
Andy Halliday, born on the doorstep of Ibrox.
True.
Was in the crowd when you secured promotion the other day. Had the megaphone starting the song "Follow, Follow."
Yep.
Against Scott Brown in midfield in an Old Firm derby. What's going to happen?
Bloodbath.
Yeah.
Bloodbath. The only way to describe it. I mean, the two of them. Scott Brown is one of those players that when he plays for Scotland, I appreciate all his dark arts, but when he's a Celtic player, he's probably the most hated one that I've got. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I see him as dirty, I see him as this, I see him as that, and against Halliday, he's only going to rise his game.
Scott seems to always sort of save his best games for against Rangers. He's a ferocious competitor. He's not really been in the best of form of late. He's come back from an injury, and but I think you need him in games like that, you know, and he won't hold back. He's got a lot more experience than the Rangers boy, obviously. So I think, I mean, looking at it logically again, it shouldn't be much of a contest, you know.
You know when Costa and Skuttle played each other and the ref just let them kick lumps at each other? I think the ref might go down that route and just let them say, all right, do what you want to do, but do it to each other. And neither seems the kind of player who's going to Neymar it and like roll around or give it the theatrics. Or he might book one of them very early and try and cut it out. And I think it's one of the few ties. So as a game, the police come into both dressing rooms before the match and encourage the players not to start stuff, not to start anything near sections of the crowd. It's like blue touch paper. I mean, this is very, very fragile.
Yeah.
So there's an element of that. It depends. I think if someone gets let off with a tackle, we could be in for a really, really nasty game. And not only that, there's other players that are more than capable of getting involved.
And one of the most lethal strikers, Lee Griffiths, obviously in the Premier League, got 28 goals in the league this season, up against two players that you should really have a field day against. You know, Rangers have been conceding goals, even in the Championship, but wingers that bomb on. How Kiernan and Wilson going to cope with him?
Well, I think they're going to have their hands full because Lee puts himself about. He doesn't hide, even when he's not playing well. Saw the game last weekend against Motherwell, and he didn't have the best of games. He missed a penalty, the 4th penalty this season he's missed. So hopefully, if we get a penalty on Sunday, I'm hoping somebody else will take it, to be honest. But he still scored 2 goals against Motherwell, even though he wasn't playing very well. So he'll get stuck in. He scored against Rangers last season. He just loves these types of games, you know. He loves winding up the opposition fans. So this is kind of a bit like Scott Brown. This is his type of game, you know.
So we don't do so well at stopping the target man who you'd say, by the way, mark him. And Griffiths is the one who you're going to be saying, by the way, mark him. And if we don't mark him well, he will score.
Warburton likes to attack down the flanks. He uses his fullbacks as his width, which could expose the centre backs, which is maybe part of the reason why you've conceded goals this year.
Yeah.
Is it a risk having such attacking fullbacks against Celtic?
I don't think they'll be as adventurous. I think we'll keep it together a bit more against Celtic. We're going to have to show them respect because they are one, in form, but two, they're top of the SPL. Like, they are the division above. I'm getting the excuses in already, but they are top of the SPL, the division above us, 12 places, 10 places actually above us in the league if you put it into like the football pyramid. And I think if we approach them the same ways we've approached certain lesser teams like Hibs, we're going to end up getting that's a really good dig I've just put in there. We're going to end up being cut to pieces.
The way that Ronnie Dial usually sets up, it's kind of like a 4-2-3-1, so we have like two wide guys playing behind the strikers, hoping that they'll be worrying about what our wingers will be doing rather than them bombing forward.
I think we'll end up doing it more like a drawstring, so i.e. if Tavernier goes forward, Wallace will fill in and end up with an all-time back three. They've got a bit of ability on the counter-attack. Depends how they line up. If they set up the counter-attackers, that could work, but we're going to be used to that because we've played against teams who've sat back all season. It's going to be very interesting.
Rangers only have 2 players that have ever played in an old firm before. Celtic have plenty. You'd say the experience is on Celtic's side. How important is that?
I think it is important because, you know, as I said, it's like an experience that you've never encountered before. You know, if you've only played against championship teams, then this is like a cauldron, really, you know.
Being in a big stadium, playing with a big team, having a big result is not going to faze anyone. I mean, Ibrox has got 50,000 fans in it every week. So they know the expectation that comes with playing for Rangers, and the papers up there are going to let them know it's a big game.
Yeah.
I think the experience, maybe if Rangers go a goal down, that's when it could come undone. If Rangers go a goal down, that's when it could really make a difference to have one of the bigger players. But likewise, if you are one of the more established players in, say, the Celtic team, and Rangers get a goal, the experience can count against them because it can be like the expectation, the pressure, and every time they've had pressure this season, they've flopped. Apart from the Hearts game, it's the only game I can think of where they've really went into it thinking we've got to win. I mean, the European campaign was embarrassing. Best way to describe it was embarrassing.
I think experience will tell, and that certainly works in our favour.
Give us a prediction for the game.
Rangers win.
Could give us a score.
3-2. 3-2, goal fest.
So can we have your prediction for the game? How do you think it's going to go?
I think Celtic will win 3-1. That's my prediction. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet, but I think we'll win with a couple of goals to spare.
Okay, that's it. Remember to subscribe to Ball Street by clicking on that ball right there.